Questions been asked about how to set up a tryout for a high school team. And what we've done in the past at Pinnacle Schools, the state champions for like the last 4 years. What I've done it for the JV team for the last 10 years. And it works. It's a very simple system and works out very well. First, you start with your returnees, in this case varsity, and you get the new players. And you have the varsity guys playing against the new guys. If you have a general idea who's good for the new guys, I would match them up fairly evenly so you can see what they do in that level competition. Okay? And then you accumulate win-loss records. Basically, if you have a returnee lose to someone new, that puts them in jeopardy in their position. So those new guys might be significantly stronger, you can replace them completely. Depending on your own philosophy about that. Generally speaking, I like to keep my numbers down. The benefits of having 12 players as opposed to having 20 players. You can improve 12 players. But do you want to cut a fourth-year player and have him replaced with a freshman? Then there is a loyalty factor involved. But that's a personal choice for you. In my opinion, if you have a new player beat a varsity player, I would keep an extra person. Because it's just harsh to cut someone who's been in the team for 4 years. Then, in round 2, you mix it. Returnee and new versus returnee and new. You already know what got your returnees. You already know how strong they are. So you want to see how the new people blend in against a team where it should be fairly evenly matched. In this first round, it's probably someone really strong versus someone really weak. Okay? And so there should be an advantage. Varsity should win easily. In this round, you want to see how these guys interact. And it gives you an opportunity to talk to your players and say, hey, what happened here? What's going on with this? Finally, create separation here and go new versus new and see what's going to happen when they play against each other. See if there's separation with that. At the end of the day, you're going to have a win-loss record. And it should be a fairly simple thing to make your cut based on win-loss. You should have simple ranking. The ladder should be all set up already. And you should be able to number them 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. When you do make a cut, it's a very difficult conversation to have, but you want to outline their strengths and their weaknesses and use that to help them for next year. For example, my cut conversation normally goes something like this. How do you think a tryout went? Normally kids are very honest. They tell you, I didn't play very well, I lost a lot of matches, I understand, I'm not that good yet. And you can tell them, oh, your strength is this, your weaknesses are this. If you work on your weaknesses here, maybe do some other things, do some lessons, do some activities, play some leagues, and give them handouts, give them help with that, Place them with a coach, put them in the league, do things like that. Develop the program, because your freshman that you cut here could be extremely strong as a sophomore with the right attitude, Because I really value attitude over, I like talent, but I also like attitude. If you have a talented player that doesn't listen to you, in the course of 4 years, they don't get much better. But if you have a not so talented player who listens to you completely and goes along with your system, your life as a coach is much easier. There are times when you have to balance the talent versus the attitude in case that you want to succeed. That's a personal coaching philosophy. In my opinion, I value attitude over talent. Because I think if you take a number 4 player with a positive attitude, you can train them to become better. You as a coach must have confidence in your own abilities, and you can get them to the number 1 level. Okay, now if they say, however, I thought the trial I did a really good job. You just simply say, your win-loss record is 1-7, and you lost to number 2, 3, 5, 10 on the team, 11 and 12, and it was pretty clear by these losses that these players are better than you are. And you have the facts still. You are being very factual about the situation. And that should be enough to get you through the conversation and do a nice cut with a pleasant way. There have been situations where I cut a player and the girl starts crying, the player starts crying, and it's very difficult. And what you need to do is become very reassuring, inform them it's not a personal decision, it's a factual decision. I'm really sorry, and everything in life comes with a setback. But it's not how you deal with a loss or a win, it's how do you pick yourself up from a loss? How do you continue on in the progress for your tennis game? Because we're talking short-term versus long-term. My goal is to have players for life. However, on the short term, as a tennis coach, I do have to win. And people understand that, and parents understand that. I have cut players with, there are going to be gray areas. And I have cut players based on attitude, and I've had to sit down with parents and talk to them about their player, and I have to justify the cut. And generally speaking, at that point, you must have a good relationship with your athletic director who trusts your judgment, because it's a very difficult thing to justify a cut for a parent who doesn't see things from the same way you do. I would suggest to you, if you do have a situation with a parent that would not listen to you on a one-to-one basis, that you do have another meeting with them, with your athletic director, yourself, the other coach, and the player involved, and you very factually present the reasons why they did not continue. Other than that, this 3-round thing works out pretty well. Get a good picture. The second day, you do the same thing, and by the end of the second day, you should know, based on observation, who's good and who's not good. And that's how I would make my